You've been looking at some of the reaction online to Trump's comments.
That's right. I'll start with the build-up, this kind of suspense that went on and on and on. We had Emmanuel Macron going over to Washington, and then we had Merkel, we had Boris Johnson. And, we kind of all knew the answer about 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, yet the answer was not concretely provided.
They gave it their best shot, didn't they?
That's right. And this is straight out of Trump's communications playbook. This is what he does. He keeps the suspense going for as long as possible in order to ensure maximum audiences for his announcements. It's probably quite a successful communication strategy, in fact, because it gets us all talking about it. And we saw that it was playing on the YouTube page of the White House this evening, all of the rolling news channels, including our own, covering it, because there was such a long wait for the answer. Now, the Washington Post today was talking about Trump's Iran nuclear deal announcement gets his standard televised drama treatment. They're looking at a couple of tweets that basically show the same strategy going back to the Paris climate agreement. I will be announcing my decision at such and such a time, and sort of teasing it himself. He did exactly the same even before he announced officially.
Because we weren't expecting a decision until Saturday, were we? And then we all got scrambling on the back foot.
Right,
this is happening today. Yep.
Keeps us on our toes, as you say. Lots of people asking whether or not I should have run for the president. So even his announcement for the presidency, the Irish Times talking about will Trump ever stop treating his presidency as a reality TV show? Probably not. An expert in the art of deflection, Trump knows the value of a big foreign policy decision to his presidency, providing a welcome distraction from troubles at home. So they're kind of elements of analysis.
You're talking about a certain
the style
Daniels, perhaps,
aspect of it, and the fact that Trump, as this article in Fox said, held the key to the agreement's fate in some regards, and he certainly used that to maximum effect for the broader set of concerns, domestic interest, trying to, I suppose, ensure that all of the things he's trying to communicate on are balanced and whatever. So it was a useful card, if you like. Now, just to get to the actual reactions about the deal, lots of them coming in. Just a couple that I saw a little while ago. This is a former Jerusalem correspondent for the France 2 network, Charles Enderlin, so a veteran French journalist, saying that there was a very nice coordination between Netanyahu and Donald Trump, who sort of, I suppose, played off each other's choice of words and whatnot. So clearly there was a coordination in that communication. We saw also that Benjamin Netanyahu spoke just after Donald Trump. And this is all about getting rid of the Ayatollahs. The objective here is regime change in Iran. That's his take on it. Donald Tusk, head of the European Council, policies of real Donald Trump on the Iran deal and trade will meet a united European approach. We've been hearing this for the last number of days, of course. EU leaders will tackle both issues at the summit in Sofia next week. What else is there? A lot of Donald Trump supporters just think that this is fantastic simply because it was a campaign promise and he kept his campaign promise. So that's the sort of, I suppose, for people who aren't so attuned to maybe the geopolitical complexities of this, they just see a president who is delivering on another campaign promise, and they're happy with that. This is an Iranian resident in the US, leads the largest Iranian-American grassroots organization, the NIA Council, and he said the tone of Donald Trump's speech, the way he started out, and all of the language used, the inflammatory rhetoric, etc., from his point of view, this is about paving the way for a major war with Iran. So a lot of people seem to think that this is sort of the drums of war, if you like. Others, some obviously then a range of points of view, some thinking this is a huge mistake. The Iran deal is verifiably keeping Iran from getting a nuclear weapon, not according to me, but according to the Pentagon, the CIA, etc., etc. And then you have probably the opposite point of view from not just Marco Rubio, but many others, saying ignored in much of the analysis on the Iran deal is the fact that it freed them up to grow more dangerous in the Middle East. Since the deal, they increased control over Syria, grew influence in Iraq, sponsored civil war in Yemen, expanded Hezbollah's reach, etc.
Republicans in Congress have been very much for putting the sanctions back on Iran for a long time. James, thank you very much indeed. Very interesting.